Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and a new video. You can probably see it, well you can see it in the thumbnail what it is. It's quite late in the day actually. I've gone through Instagram at the yard and we got a message come through. It says, hi Rob, I think you would be interested in this. I loved the last cheap car challenge you done and I think I've got an ideal candidate here. So he sent me his number, I've rung up, we've negotiated the price for it and I'm heading there now to pick it up. Of course, it is not without its dramas. There will be more on that when we get there, but I'll just tell you guys, it's got no keys, so we've got to somehow try and get it on the back of the truck, and it is in a very, very awkward position. The guy is a subscriber, but we don't know him, we don't know the car, so it's got no keys with it. We have got to do our checks, so we are straight away. We're going to do a quick car vertical, make sure there's nothing untoward, and then we'll get it loaded on the back of the truck. But it is going to be testing. Let's see how we get on. I've punched in the chassis number of the Peugeot and it's come up there. Mileage okay, theft okay, accidents okay, taxi okay. So it's got a green tick by all of those, which means that all of those are okay. We scroll a little bit further down. It checks various things there, like was it a handicapped vehicle, driving school car, police vehicle, used as public transport, used as a rental car, etc. And as you can see, all of that is clear as well. We scroll a little bit further down and it checks whether the vehicle's been stolen in any of these countries, which is brilliant. Just on the next bit there, we got the mileage and it's got some useful arrows where you can go through and just check that it's all heading in the right direction, and that's upwards, and that all seems to be fine as well. The check also checks various other things as well, like specs, etc., and gives you a big checklist at the bottom of things to check when you're purchasing one of those cars. There's all tips and tricks in there that come in very handy. Let's move over and give you an example of one, what it would look like if there is an issue. I've just clicked on one of these examples, Nissan Qashqai, mileage okay, theft okay, accidents. It's come straight up there. So we'll scroll further down, scrolling a little bit further down there through the check, and you can see they've just got an example of a car and it tells you everything that the insurance assessor writ down when he was inspecting that car. So front bumper, front bonnet, front grille, airbag, front passenger, airbag, driver. Basically it gives you all of the list of stuff. Let's get back to our car. So that all checked out okay guys, so we get it loaded on, but here it is. Let's get out and have a look. It don't look easy, but thankfully it is raining, so hopefully that will help it slide around a little bit. I am going to try and capture as much as I can. I've reversed the truck in, but you can see this is the house and it's right up against that window. It's unlocked, fortunately, so we can let the handbrake off. We can let the handbrake off. I bet that's been on actually, and I bet it's seized up. Little quick look for the keys, because you never know, but he said it has got no keys. They've been lost. That is going to be hard. We really ain't got a lot of space here, and I can only pull it at that angle really, and then try and get the truck over a little bit. We'll do our best. Let's crack on and see how we get on. I did say it weren't going to be easy guys. It is very, very difficult. I'm sure you truckers out there are cringing at me saying, Rob, there's so much more of an easier way, but I'm doing the best that I know, and we'll get it on there. We will eventually get it on there. Let's crack on. guys, it is actually a couple of days later, and I'll be honest, I had needed a couple of days to calm down. So I don't know if I said earlier in the video, this was actually £100, this car. It was unlocked, but it come with no keys. And you could see me struggle like crazy to get this car on the back of my truck. And guys, I'm going to leave it in there, the time lapse. If you missed it, go back now and watch it. I actually had quite a bad accident with this car. I was pulling it on, I was using a snatch block in the top corner, and it actually snapped, let go, the winch dropped out. This car actually rolled back and smashed straight into there, luckily, into a bin that was near their wall. And it's done the back bumper, and it actually broke the back light. I was absolutely gutted, shaking, because that is something that's never happened to me before. It was late in the day, it was after we'd been recording all day. Was I paying enough attention? The answer to that is obviously not, because I wasn't looking properly, and it turned out that the car's rolled off and I've ended up damaging it further than it already not having a key. So it is time to get it off the back of my truck. I need the use of the truck. So we have called a locksmith. He's contacted Peugeot, got the security code and the key code. The key he's now cut off site, and he's going to be here in the next 5 or 10 minutes with that key. He's going to plug it in, program the car, and fingers crossed we can get this running. But worst way, get that steering lock off and actually get it off the back of my truck. I know I'm going to get quite a bit of stick from you guys in the comments about the fact that I didn't have another strap on it, just holding it. You'll see in there that I got it all the way up the back of the truck before that snapped, the winch cable let go, and the car rolled off and pretty much destroyed it. Let's wait for that locksmith. So guys, the locksmith has just arrived, and like I said previously in the video, he actually cut the key off site, so he did it before he got here. When you order a key code and a key number from the dealer, excuse me, that key code and that key number is obviously, the code is for the immobiliser and the key number is for the key. As soon as he arrived, he's put it into the driver's door lock, locked and unlocked the car, so that's working fine. Then he went in the car, tried it in the ignition, and of course took the steering lock off, which is lovely. I did ask him if he'd be on camera, but unfortunately the answer is no. So he's just going to program the key in now, and as soon as that's programmed in, I can cut in and he's going to turn it over, and hopefully we can all hear this run together. I've got my fingers crossed that this does run, because I've already destroyed it, and obviously we'd like to get our money back and some profit if possible. So back in a sec. Looks like it's going to be firing the hole, guys. If it does start, can you leave it running, please? Yeah, ready when you are. Is it?
It's been on charge all day.
Is it?
You turn the old coil connection.
Try that. Have we got the other little jump pack? No, the little booster one. 25%. Is it? Try it again. It's turning over, so we got 2 chances. We get the jump pack charged up and we try it again. The locksmith's come prepared with his jump pack. Yep. She's a runner. And it sounds lovely. Yeah, he did. The guy did say it run perfect until he lost the key. So finally, let's get this unloaded off the back of the truck. I'm made up now. I really am made up. Guys, just before we move outside and unload that car, Chris said, Rob, bring it in, put it on the jig and show everybody what happened. He said it can happen to anybody. It's just unfortunate it happened to you. So this hook wouldn't fit on my truck. So I actually used that shackle, and you can see there what's happened to it. Absolutely unbelievable. And as soon as that let go, of course, then the chain went slack. And I didn't have a chance. You can see it in that time. I'll still keep watching it back now, and I still can't believe it. Let's get the car unloaded. Sorry guys, so I got that unloaded there and thought I was time-lapsing it, and I actually recorded for 9 minutes, me and Chris unloading it off the back of the truck, so we didn't capture that. Before we go any further with this car, what I've decided to do, we're now running, got a bit of life in the battery. I've chucked the tray plates in it. I'm actually just going to take it out for a quick run and just make sure there's no knocking or donking or anything like that, because there's nothing worse than obviously we start spending money on it, getting it up together and getting it MOT'd, and it's got something seriously wrong with it. Like I said, the guy did say there was nothing wrong with it until he lost the key. So I'm going to take it out on a quick road test and I'll let you know how we get on. Guys, I don't know what model this is, but it must have everything on it. I was driving it, all of the wipers come on their own. It looks like it's got a light sensor, electric dimmable mirror, has got nav. I won't turn that on. Obviously it's got a map on it, and glass roof with electric mat. I just found service book and it's got some service stamps in it, and like I say, we've got a logbook and that with it anyway. It's gone up to temperature. I went from here and I went straight down the dual carriageway and put £10 worth of diesel in it. 129,000 miles, and that's oil temperature there. That's fine as well. It sounds, what, these 2 litre diesels, they're bomb proof anyway, but sounds lovely. Got a little bit of water on the belt there, you can hear it's damp. It has been sat for quite some time, but I think we just get that backlight fitted in it and get it straight over for an MOT. It seems to be fine. I will have a quick check round it first, check all the light bulbs, check all that sort of stuff, but really still gutted that it rolled off the truck, but that is part of it. There's nothing I can do about that. Let's move on. So I left it running outside when I got back for about half an hour. Just let it get right up to I mean, it was already up to temperature, but just let it run, let the fan cut in and out, just check that everything was okay. And as you can hear now, that bit of squeaking on that belt has completely gone. So it just needed to warm up. It has been sat there for quite a while. I haven't actually MOT history checked this, so I'm not sure when it ran out, but it definitely hasn't got an MOT. Excuse me, he said it had been sat there for quite some time. So me and Chris quickly went round it, just checked all of the lights, wipers, washers, all the usual stuff that we're going to check. And we noticed that the back number plate lights, both of them, was blown. So we've put 2 new bulbs in there. They're now working. We also ordered that light off of eBay. That arrived and we've now got that fitted. So we're pretty much ready to get this over for an MOT. Fingers crossed it's going to go through. I can't see why not. All the tyres are really nice on it, and like I said, it drives nice. The main reason for taking it out for a drive just a minute ago was actually just clean up all of the crud off of the brakes, because it had been sat so long, they had a lot of surface rust on them, but it seems to be fine. MOT's in about an hour, so Chris said, would I mind? He's going to fit up the little Peugeot 108, get it off the ramp. Can I whip down and get an alternator? If you remember, guys, this blue car was the one that we looked at in the first video, and I said that the alternator looked like the right one. So I've actually bought one down here to match it up, and you snooze you lose, it's already gone. Also, lambda sensor, there's our one. I've just took one off of this, it's slightly different, so I'm going to have a good hunt around the yard. But the main reason I come down was not actually for that. It was to find a manual Peugeot and get the clutch pedal rubber off of it, because that's actually an MOT failure and we haven't got a rubber on ours. That pedal actually looked a bit small. I'm going to try and find something a bit older, like a 306 or a 206. That's actually a 308. There's a 206 there, so we'll find something old like that and get a pedal rubber off of it and get that on that 407 for the MOT. Yeah, that looks tiny as well, so that's not going to fit. I'm sure we'll work it out somehow and we'll find something that's going to fit it. There's an old 306 behind there. We'll have a good look on that. We're back on R1 there, guys. I got the brake pedal and the clutch pedal off of that 306 estate that was in that hedge. But you can see by the shape of that pedal, that one won't fit on. It's slightly round. That angle is actually the other side on this. So I've wedged the brake one on there. It seems to be on and folded right round. Just don't want that coming off. It's got to have a pedal rubber on it for grip. because it's just metal underneath. But if that one does pop off, I'm going to have to glue this one on or trim it up. It is quite thick, so possibly just trim it up. But let's head straight over now for an MOT and see how we get on. Guys, what a palaver that turned out to be. So MOT refusal, but after 2 hours MOT pass. So we have managed to get it through an MOT, and there'll be more on it later. I'll explain what happened. Whatever you do, do not miss the end of today's video. It is going to be, we got some good news on there, and obviously I'll go on about this a little bit more. Let's go and get it cleaned, get back to the workshop and crunch the numbers. Out of the car wash, and I thought I'll quickly stop at home. I live quite near the car wash, grab a bottle of water, and then save doing this outside the yard. We'll have a final little walk around it, but it has come up really, really nice. One thing I am going to say, what I probably haven't mentioned throughout this video, is we're not actually going to do that repair on the back of it. We're going to sell it how it is, and it's going to be cheap anyway, so whoever buys it, I'm sure is going to be fine with that. Ideally, a rear bumper in colour wants finding for it. It's scuffed that black bit up there. It's put a little crack in it there, and there's a hole round there by the towing eye and a few little scuffs. Initially, I said it hit his plastic bin, but there was a load of these big plastic containers, and that's luckily it squashed on them containers before it hit his house. But this bit here is obviously hit something a little bit sharper. But apart from that, all cleaned up, very nice. Going to be a nice little car. Anyway, let's get back to the yard, crunch them numbers. Well, just before we get going with the numbers, the suspense, honestly, I'm like a kid. Chris is like, be careful. We have got something sitting here that is absolutely, I'm going to use the word, epic. You cannot, these are not around anymore. Loads of you that follow us on Instagram at Salvage Rebuilds, if you haven't already, would have seen the car with a sheet over it, and quite a lot of you have made a guess. And I'm desperate to get, it was a whole, we've done a massive video. Me and Chris worked all weekend, and we really did have some digging out to do to get this car. This is a proper barn find. I'm just hoping there's no reflection anywhere in this workshop, because we don't want to say what it is just yet, but I just know that you're all going to go crazy about this, because I ain't stopped going crazy about it. I was even thinking about it when I got home last night. So huge part of this video is already done for this car that's down here, and we're going to get that out for you as soon as possible. But in the meantime, what a palaver with the Peugeot 407. Like I said earlier on in the video, I know I'm probably going to get a bit of stick. I did go after work, it was quite late, and genuinely, I did try and do everything I could, step by step. But sometimes, Chris said, Rob, don't worry about it, accidents happen. I was like, yeah, that ain't never happened to me before. And that clasp letting go, when I rung Chris up and told him what had happened, he said, where that ain't fitted through your eye, he thought where I'd use that U-clamp, the winch cable had rubbed on it and actually undone it, but that weren't the story. It has ripped it right out. So just shows you as well, I was really pulling some weight on that, and you could hear the winch pulling on it. It was screaming a little bit. So anyway, the MOT, another palaver there. So it failed the MOT, as we see, and I don't know how. Chris checked all the back lights, I checked the front lights, they was already on, and I'll never see those tiny little side light bulbs. So anyway, I said to him, he said, oh, it's going to fail on them side light bulbs and that CV boot, the fact that the clips come away from it. So I said, can you do it? He said, I can, but you're going to have to wait, because he's got to log it off. This is the law apparently. He's not allowed to work on your car while it's logged on for an MOT test. So we had to log it off, then wait to get something off the ramp, get something else on, get that back on the ramp, get the wheel off, do the repairs on it, put the bulbs in, and then do a retest. Luckily, it wasn't a full retest, but I don't mind saying I was there for 2 hours today, which is really, we could have done with dropping it off and then me coming back and giving Chris an hand, but it is what it is, and it's all done now. So, and it is genuinely a lovely little car, I think. So purchase price, I think I mentioned it earlier on, £100, meant to be a cheap car challenge. Collection, £20. Key, £90. Now the key we got cut for it, guys. I won't even, I've got it here in my pocket. Now that car should have a remote key. I had cut a bog basic, completely standard normal key. Now it locks it and unlocks it perfect with a door lock, starts the car, but it does not have that button so you can lock and unlock it. That was about 220 quid. And this is a cheap car challenge that I ended up making dear. So we give £90 for the key, and Scott really looked after us there. So fuel, I had to pop down earlier, put £10 in it. Rear light, £30 off of eBay. MOT, 40 quid. And at the MOT, chucking the 2 bulbs in, he charged me a £5 plus £10. So £15 for doing the bulbs and the CV gator, which I'm really happy about. Otherwise, it would have been a round trip to bring it back. Valet was £20. So total price shouldn't have been this much. £325. Still a cheap car, £325. And we are going to ask £600 for it. And I'm probably going to put it on Instagram at some point this week. So if anybody wants it, they can go on there, send me a message once the post comes out, including their contact number, and I'll give them a ring back. That's going to give us a pre-tax profit of £275. So not loads of money, but if I didn't break the back light, we'd have doubled our money. And that was the plan. So you can't win them all, but we're still ahead, £275. Guys, this has gone on long enough already. So if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing and push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Follow us on Instagram for the little sneak peeks throughout the day at Salvage Rebuilds, and check out the merchandise. Let's Get Involved t-shirt, this one. The link is in the description. I'll also put a link in the description for Car Vertical and in the pinned comment. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later in the week for the next one.